Welcome to the Made in Maine podcast, where we dive headfirst to discuss difficult topics, core principles, and the creativity behind the thriving Made in Maine community. We invite you to tune in whether you're a skeptic, on the fence, or have many years designing and creating Maine-made products. Join us as we grow together and continue to put Maine on the map with the Made in Maine podcast. All right, Matt, we're back at it again. The Box of Maine Studios.
Yes, we are.
And we are in a new month. It is July.
Yeah, it's getting hot.
Very hot.
Yeah.
And you know what would cool us off?
Some ice cream?
Some ice cream. So on the show today, we're going to have Jack Watkins from Spencer's Ice Cream. He's going to come on. We're going to talk about his business. I imagine he's doing really good right now.
Yeah, especially.
We've had quite a little bit of a hot streak in Maine, central Maine, but this week's been rainy, we needed that rain.
Yep.
How does that affect you at all when you're in the shop working?
No, not at all.
The weather's not a problem?
Nope, not really. So a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, it must get really hot in there. You got the forge going and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it does get a little hot, but I have a big industrial fan that I set up, and it helps circulate the air through it, and it's not too bad. What about with when you're pounding out? You know, I saw you pounding out some like flower looking thing. I don't know what you call it, but a rosette.
The rosette.
Yeah.
And I love when you put those little video clips up of you smashing on the iron, the rosettes. Yeah. But I noticed that it loses its temperature pretty quick.
It can, it's those are pretty small, so they don't hold it as long. So I posted a video on Instagram right after that one. I don't know if you saw it, but forging out a ring, actually. Not like a finger ring, but just a big circle, essentially.
That's the first time I've seen that. So is this a custom piece?
Yeah. And it's just a component for it. But yeah, I mean, you can see that one lasts a lot longer because it's a lot bigger, And when it's in contact with the anvil too, so that will draw heat out of it faster. So in the winter,
I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
I actually preheat the anvil so it doesn't draw out that heat. So I'll just throw a big block of steel in the forge, get it glowing hot, and set it on it and let it sit there for 10 minutes and let the anvil warm up so it doesn't draw that heat out as quick. So when you see that rosette sitting on the face of the anvil, it's right in contact with it, so it's going to be drawing that heat out a lot faster, whereas I was forging that ring out on the horn, and so it's only one portion of it that's actually making contact.
Got it.
Yeah, it lasts a lot longer.
That's cool. I did not know that. I saw the ring and I was like, wow, that's that doesn't look like something you normally do. Is it like some kind of barn door handle?
No. It's a forged vase for some of my metal roses. Yeah, for a customer that we know together, but I won't mention.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I need you to do some custom work for me sometime.
Yeah. Hey,
I still need those hooks. I'm still waiting for my wife to tell me which hook she wants because you do have so many different ones.
Yep.
So any new products? What have you been working on?
Not really, man. I've been working on trying to keep up with my inventory a little bit better. So I don't know if you're familiar with, have you heard of lean manufacturing?
I haven't, no.
So lean manufacturing is a way of recognizing waste in your business, and there's a lot of literature on it, and it was actually popularized in Japan. I think it was by Toyota, actually. And it's just a way of making things more efficient. And so I've been doing a little research on that and how to just keep track a little bit better. And so sort of prioritizing what I'm actually making based off of what people have bought in the past. So I'll actually look at the next 6 months from last year. And so I have an idea of what I need to be making now.
I think that is a very good point that you bring up, and we've touched on it a little bit, but not in depth before.
Yeah.
I think we would be surprised at how much time and maybe waste that we generate on a daily basis, whether it's maybe you have some extra pieces of steel that's scrap, or maybe you're putting too much time into products that aren't selling as good.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the ideas behind it is there's different kinds of waste, and one of those wastes can be put putting time into something that doesn't actually create value for your customer, you know, and I would actually recommend that you look into it, because I think, even though you're not like a manufacturer, you're putting together something from components, and I think that even you could benefit from implementing some of the lean ideas into your business.
Yeah, and I think about that a lot, because we're a small business, we do a lot.
Yeah, and you have tons of inventory. I can help you with the inventory management, and we've talked a little bit. Yeah.
So there's always ways to improve your business. Don't stop, I think, is the main thing. Educating yourself. We're going to talk a little bit about that with Jack. He jumped right into his business right out of high school.
That's crazy.
Man, I can't imagine he had a whole lot of knowledge on running a business at that time. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. You guys are going to want to stick around for this episode. We're really going to peel back the layers here of Spencer's Ice Cream, an ice cream shop. Now you might think, oh, that's just ice cream. How intricate, how difficult could it be? I think you'll probably be pretty surprised. Any type of business that you're running has a lot of moving parts.
There's a lot of logistics involved in it too, that you probably don't think of.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the case. Is we have some misconceptions sometimes. We just think, oh, they're just putting an ice cream in a scoop, in a little cone. Yeah. But no, it's more than that. So great. Well, I got some new products. I got the raspberry honey. I don't know if I talked about that or not, but we like honey here. Honey does really good. We have we get it from a Maine beekeeper. So they have the Maine bees. And we have a blueberry honey, we have raw and filtered honey, and now we have a raspberry honey. So I'm excited to bring that addition to the box of Maine.
Nice.
We also brought on chocolate caramel sea salted popcorn. Can't remember if I mentioned that or not. But shout out to Coastal Maine Popcorn Company. We have their Maine maple. And I try to be careful when adding too many products. We'll talk about that. We try to talk about that often, being careful how many products we do add. But this is their best-selling flavor. They just straight out and told me and I've been wanting it for a while. And we finally were able to agree on a price.
Cool.
So we now have the chocolate caramel sea salted popcorn. Let's see what else has been going on. How about? Did we talk about the Moxie shortage?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, let's talk about
the
that.
Moxie shortage.
What's happening?
So because of COVID-19, we're seeing it, more and more as we peel back the layers. It's impacting the manufacturing business, the raw components we've talked about on prior episodes. So I'm being told that the aluminum cans that are used to, make the Moxie soda, the company has decided to allocate those to other better selling flavors, where Moxie, their sales only make up a small portion, and so they have decided to discontinue temporarily Moxie soda for the summer. So I made a whole bunch of phone calls freaking out, because it's one of our better selling products. I would definitely put it in the top 5 category in our gift boxes that we send all over the world. And so I was freaking out a little bit when I found this out from distributors.
I can imagine.
So we were able to allocate, a decent amount to get us over. If I use it sparingly, if I don't push Moxie too hard, I think we should be able to stretch it out over a couple months. But if I want to push it and say, which I kind of already have a little bit, saying Moxie's going to be running out. I kind of sold a lot of it already.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that, holding on to those things. So if you're listening and you want Moxie soda and you're from out of state, we do have some left right now, but it won't be for too long. But we're really hoping that they bring it back. And they said they're going to bring it back by the end of the summer.
Yeah. So do you have anything else going on?
Yeah. Well, last thing is, I don't know if I've talked about it. I don't want to go too far in depth, but we're doing a program called Giving Back.
Yep.
Where I want to make it part of my business. To give back to Maine nonprofits, and so I've designated a nonprofit for every month of this year. I've gone ahead and I usually ask my audience, my followers on social media, to give suggestions, and so we've had a couple suggestions. One of them was for the month of June was the Autism Society of Maine. We were able to raise $352 for them.
Nice. That's great.
That's a portion of our boxes that we sold. So I just want to thank everyone that bought a box of Maine for the month of June. You helped us raise some money for them.
Nice. So is that like $1 for every box that you sell? Is that usually how you do it?
Yeah. So specifically for our gift boxes, now we have lots of different things that we sell.
Sure.
But our 5, 7, and 10 item and our custom gift boxes, we are donating $1.
Nice.
For that month.
That's
so
great.
yeah, I like to be able to do that. It's kind of part of what we want to play a part in. And last thing I want to say is get out there and support small businesses. And since we're from Maine, we want to support the small Maine businesses. That's why we have Spencer's Ice Cream on the show today. And we have places like Nikki's Diner in Bangor, Maine. They started off as an ice cream parlor. Coincidental? I don't know. But they unfortunately had to close their doors after 32 years in business. And I want to think largely it's because of, COVID and the tight, the restrictions and regulations that are being imposed on us by our governor. So it's making it very difficult for these restaurants, the hospitality industry, craft industries, the trades. If you can get out, go buy an ice cream, go get out and eat, order out, do whatever you got to do to support these guys because they're struggling. A lot of them are having to close up their doors. So make sure you listen in to the rest of the episode. We are going to have Spencer's Ice Cream on, and we're going to talk about how we can get some free ice cream coupons. So make sure you stay listening in.
Spencer's Ice Cream has been making ice cream in Bradley, Maine since 1933. Jack Watkins purchased the business in May of 2018, and a month later, he graduated from high school. Their premium ice cream boasts 14% butterfat and is made on-site. On any given day, there are between 16 and 48 flavors available, with seasonal favorites such as strawberry rhubarb, eggnog, or peppermint stick on the menu. Head on over to 77 Main Street in Bradley, Maine to cool off on these hot summer days.
Hey, Jack. Welcome to the Made in Maine podcast. My name's Finnemore. I'm the owner of Box of Maine, and I'm joined with you by
Matt Foster from Black Dog Ironworks.
So first off, I love Spencer's Ice Cream. That's we go there, and I'm not just saying that because you're here right now, but we've already gone, I think, twice this year. And it's perfect, just like you said, on the warm summer days.
Yeah,
Have you been yet?
Yeah, we've been twice now. Yeah, actually, it was like right before you told me that we were going to be having Spencer's Ice Cream on the podcast. We had actually gone and enjoyed some.
And I'm pretty sure your mom was out there handing out flavors, or it was either your mom or your mother-in-law. There's a tractor behind me, and we're wrapping all the way around the building because we're in July now, and we're obviously going through this COVID-19 pandemic thing. So businesses have had to kind of change and think outside of the box. And Matt and I talked about how some restaurants are building they're building decks where people can come and they can eat outside. Where you guys already had the deck, but anyways, I was going around around behind the back of the building and to a little drive-up window for our ice cream.
Yeah, you guys built a drive-through in order to accommodate for the COVID-19 stuff, right?
Yeah, we were kind of forced to do something creative, and that's kind of what we came up with. And ever since then, it's been a huge hit. So I think we're not even gonna
stop doing that. Yeah,
that's the new thing for us.
It was really convenient because I have 3 kids. I have a daughter that's, she's 6 months old. And so it's really convenient. We don't have to get out of the car. Yeah. We can just drive right up, and especially after we go to the beach or something and we're on our way back home and we want to stop and get some ice cream. We're all tired. The kids are passed out in the back. We don't want to wake them up, but we really want to get some of that Spencer's ice cream.
Definitely.
So it made it super convenient. So I would highly recommend keeping it.
Yeah, and so before we really jump into the history of Spencer's Ice Cream and how how you purchased it and got involved in it, I kind of want to know about that, the changes that you've had to do. So the drive-through window, is it just, okay, let's cut a hole out in the wall right here? Let's, how does that? take place?
Yeah, we had the window. Window was already there, but we didn't really use it for that. It was just a walk-up window, and then kind of like had to rope off the whole driveway, and we got it redone, so it was nice for people to drive in. And ever since then, kind of had to teach people how to drive through there. It's been definitely.
But there's no speaker that you talk into, right? There's somebody out there. They take your order. There's a huge list of flavors like we've mentioned already, and we'll talk about some of the best-selling flavors. But I remember picking the flavor and then giving it back to the lady, which I think was your mother. Am I correct?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
So I love the fact that you're a family business. I'm a family business as well, and so is my co-host Matt here. So we definitely want to give a shout out to the small, family businesses in Maine. Is it true that your mother-in-law also works there?
It's
or
my
your
stepmom.
Okay, stepmom. Okay.
No. Stepmom, mom, stepdad. My dad occasionally helps me out with events, and my girlfriend helps out with a lot. And other than that, it's just family and friends and just local people. So
that's great. I like that. That's great. That's so cool. So. Yeah, they've had to accommodate, and it sounds like, and that's the thing I'm seeing is people are learning how to think outside of the box. They're thinking about how do they continue to operate, and so you're going to keep that window. So there is a good thing that can come out of this, and I like that because that's a way to like Matt said, he's got a bunch of kids. Maybe they're on the way back from the beach. Maybe the baby's sleeping, and you don't want to get everybody out of the car. So I like it.
Yeah, makes it really convenient.
Yeah.
So. We have family, we have friends, so introduce your friend here.
This is my friend Tyler Bean. I've grown up with him ever since, probably we've known him since second or first grade. Played sports together all the way up through, and now he's on his own selling insurance.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome what he's been doing, and so just brought him along today.
Yeah, nice. And that's interesting because Tyler here just showed up at the Box of Maine office in Old Town, Maine, and just looking to maybe just get some business or something for. Tyler, why don't you tell everybody what you do and how we kind of just ran into each other and this whole thing kind of came to be.
Yeah, so again, Tyler Bean, I work at Quirk Insurance in Bangor. Like Dan had mentioned, I was out kind of prospecting in the Old Town area, and Box of Maine has been here for some time. And like I was telling Dan when I first came in, it was just kind of interesting. I never knew what they're truly about, seeing them and stuff like that. So I popped by one day, and we ended up making the next connections to what, and he'd mentioned this podcast, so, and like I say, local businesses, stuff like that. Spencer's over in Bradley, and we had that connection, and said, let's get him on.
Yeah, no, it just kind of like, he's like, I know the guy, and I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, can you tell him we want to get him on the show? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And so we made some connections, we made the phone number, we made it happen. So
that was good timing too, because it's like perfect ice cream season right now. So
Matt and I actually just sat down recently. We're kind of just looking at who can we bring on the show. We've already kind of reached out to some of the people that we knew a little bit more personable that we've interacted with, but now we're trying to expand and get more people on the show. And so we sat down, and one of the people's names that came up was Jack at Spencer's Ice Cream. So the connections just kind of all happened, and so that's how we're here today. So I think it's a good way to kind of dive in. Let's dive right into the history of Spencer's, how you acquired it, and let's go from there.
All right, so Spencer's Ice Cream has been around since 1933, always at 77 Main Street in Bradley, Maine. They've always made ice cream right there, all homemade, all 14% butterfat, made in the same machine for a while now. We call it Bertha. She's a 10-gallon batch freezer, and it's been around since probably 1970. She's pretty old, but she does the job. And I bought it in 2018 with the help of my mom and family, and they kind of been helping me out ever since. We've expanded tremendously ever since then. When I bought it, it was just a convenience store, and they were kind of selling ice cream out of the back. They were doing all sorts of stuff out of there too.
Yeah, my wife was actually telling me when I told her that I was going to be having you on the podcast. She was like, "Oh yeah, I was there when I was a little kid," and she remembers it being like just a convenience store, and it's really changed a lot.
Yeah. we've decided to just focus on ice cream because that's what the community kind of needs. There's a few stores around anyway, and so just a nice ice cream spot is what the community always needs. So we focused on that. Started doing wholesale about 4 months past that, and ever since then I have just grown into more accounts, and we're up to like just over 50 accounts now, statewide, and growing every day.
So what I'm missing the connect, like you're in high school when this happens?
Yeah, I was just about to graduate high school, and I've always wanted to do something like this, and I mean the opportunity was right there, and so we kind of just took it, and I don't.
So what kind of student were you in high school? Were you business oriented at the time? Did you have that knowledge of how to run a business? Were you good with numbers, people person?
Wasn't really much of a school student. Really wasn't interested in that part much.
Okay, we have that in common.
But my dad, my mom are both entrepreneurs themselves, sure. And so I always grew up around it. And I always had my mind made up on what I wanted to do. I wanted to own my own business, and so. Kind of that was my interest. Anything that had to do with business, I was interested in. Anything, not really. It's whatever. But
No, you're speaking my language right now. This is the exact same thing. I didn't have a whole lot of education in business. My father dabbled. He had that again. It's this thing that we keep talking about time and time again on the show. It's just that entrepreneurial drive, that spirit that you just. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're passionate about it, you can get behind it, and you got people to support you. And that's what we want to encourage our listeners. Some people are on the fence about it. Some people are, maybe they're struggling right now and they're trying to regain focus on, is this really what I want to do? It sounds like you're all in. You got the family involved. You said your girlfriend's involved. So, I mean, you're all in. You got a bunch of wholesale accounts set up. 50 wholesale accounts in 2 years.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty good. I love the fact that you look to diversify. That's another thing we talk about a lot. We've had a lot of guests on the show where it's not just retail, your storefront, but you have other avenues that you can sell your ice cream, your product, and it's such a great product. How do you get it out there to as many people as possible? And I think it sounds like you're headed in the right direction.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So tell us about your ice cream truck. Speaking of how you get your stuff out there,
So our first truck that we ever bought was it's our white one. It's a 1986 workhorse. So it's old and it's seen the road for sure. And we bought that 4 months after we bought this shop, and it was just a canteen truck. Didn't have any windows or anything in it, and actually had shelving on the sides, and so we had to completely gut it. And then we ended up putting freezers in there and putting a window on and putting some lights outside and stickering it and making it look all nice. And
so it's not your standard
no.
Where you're like ice cream and you run down the street, man. I remember growing up as a kid, summertime. Hey, we gotta get your quarters out. It's not that type of ice cream truck, right?
Not most of the time. We do that occasionally, but it's very rare that we'll do that.
I feel like there's not a whole lot of money in that market.
Yeah, not a lot of interest in it. Most of the time, people are kind of just going to the store and getting their own ice cream and eating it at home.
Right.
So it's more of an event truck. We take it out to our events and. Basically more community events with that truck. Our trailers do more of the private events. So
explain to us these events. So it sounds like a nice avenue to reach out. How do you find these events? What makes a good event for ice cream? Pretty much any event, if you ask me. But so you're on the phone, you're calling people. People are calling you. Hey, we want your ice cream at this event. Is it always business? Is it business events, or is it like a community event, fairs, festivals?
We do just about everything. If you need even a family private event, we do. Lately, it's been like graduation parties have been what we've been doing. Basically, you just fill out the form on our website, and we'll get in contact with you and set it up. Our pricing's right on our website as well, so just give that a peek before and make sure that's okay. But reach out, and we'll love to set something up with you.
That's a really creative way to just expand the business and get out there,
It's a lot of fun too, because usually you're kind of just cramped up in the little ice cream shop, and then you get to go out and people are always smiling and waving and honking at you. So it's just fun.
Yeah, and the truck looks pretty cool too with your big logo on the side of it.
Yeah, thank you.
It looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got some good advertising. I'm hoping to get a nice cargo van here shortly and get it all branded up so everywhere, because that's, I mean, a lot of times I'm out and about and I see, you know, either a trailer going by or the truck going by, so it kind of serves as dual purpose. So now it sounds like people are, you know, reaching out to you a lot. So I'm sorry if I missed it. Do you have to, are you on the phone, or is there anyone on the phone trying to call places to see?
Yeah, we reach
like a
out,
cold call almost, or like a word of mouth type of thing.
Yeah, we reach out to a lot of places as well. If we see you have an event coming up, sometimes we'll call you, see if we can get in. But we honestly have a lot of leads that come to us from people who just kind of like recommend us, and then they'll reach out and we'll set it up. So we have limited space, but sometimes we'll schedule our own events.
So what's the difference? You touched on it a little bit. What's the difference between the workhorse truck and then the trailer? Because I see a lot of more trailers. I drove by, you know, probably last week, and I thought I saw 4 or 5 trailers out there. I mean, that's quite a bit of trailers in 2 years. Am I right?
Yeah, we picked up 3 trailers last year. They're 3 different sizes. Okay. We've got the smallest one. We named that Sunny. It's a yellow, and that's more of our delivery trailer in small events. We have Ivy, and it's kind of a medium size. It's green, and that's for like bigger deliveries and like medium size events. That's kind of the go-to trailer because it fits everything. And then there's Bell, and that's the blue trailer, and that is our big trailer that we bring to like Riverfest.
Oh, okay, nice.
And the Muddy Mainer in Orrington. And those bigger events, that's what we always bring. So
yeah, let's talk about those events some more. So do you do like any trade shows or things like that? And obviously you're doing those bigger events, so like what are some events that you really enjoy doing, or that really do well for you guys?
We always do great at the Muddy Mainer and Riverfest. We go out to Casella for their open house day, which I recommend everybody going to because it's a lot of fun. And they give out free ice cream there, and that's always a blast. We usually sell out within a matter of 4 or 5 hours. We bring 60 plus tubs of ice cream, so it's a lot of people working. And
is Bertha the one you said is making all the ice cream?
Oh yeah.
Okay. She's not an actual person.
No.
She must be going 24/7
basically.
Basically.
And we've got one freezer right now that's just packed full of ice cream, and we're working on getting a second one.
Wow. So how much can you are you able to say how much you're able to hold in there, or how much can you store at once, or how long does it last in there before you start, maybe it gets a freezer burn or something?
We can hold probably about like 200 tubs of ice cream, and roughly like 2,000 pints at the same time. That's like max capacity.
Sure. Does that happen often, and are you needing to get more space, or are you having
lately it's been where we're full, and then we'll wipe it completely out, and then we'll fill it right back up in the same day, and it's just a repetitive cycle. So we need some more space, but it's been nice to see all the product moving. And if not, we can wait it lasts just about a year, but I don't really like to wait that long because I like it to be fresh as it can be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, you have so many different flavors. Should we jump into some of the flavors? I want to know,
All right, I'll tell you what I had when I went. I had the cinnamon toast crunch. Oh, that was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I'm pretty traditional. I'm like peanut butter. I just like peanut butter. Anything with peanut butter in it's usually my go-to. If you want a safe flavor, there's a lot of flavors out there that you can take a chance on, and you're not quite sure. Yeah, what are some of your top selling flavors, and then what are some of the ones that are maybe a little bit unique, like cinnamon toast crunch? You said, that does sound kind of unique. I don't know if I'd take a chance on cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Is it?
I promise.
Is there actually little pieces of cereal in it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
it's pretty good.
It's got a cinnamon swirl, so it's pretty good. Our best sellers are chocolate peanut butter. We can't keep that one on the shelves. Black raspberry always goes well.
Yes, I think that's one I've had too.
Yeah, and that's been my favorite since probably I was 4 years old. Always been that. The classics like cookie dough and cookies and cream, M&M, all the vanilla based ones always go well. Maple walnut, peanut butter cup, cherry, vanilla, coconut. But lately we've been bringing out the weirder flavors. So we've brought out it's rhubarb season, so strawberry rhubarb and blueberry rhubarb pie. Those are our best.
So you have your seasonal ones that maybe do a little bit better at a certain time of the year. Do you have anything pumpkin related when it comes time for fall?
Yeah, we actually just we have one pumpkin that runs year round because it sells so well as pumpkin chocolate chip. But around Halloween,
my favorite cookie.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Around Halloween time, we'll bring out a pumpkin s'mores, which has marshmallow and graham cracker, and we'll bring out like pumpkin pie, just has a graham crackers.
We should have had you bring some ice cream.
Yeah, I know.
We're eating ice cream right now. It's a hot summer day in Maine, and
That's right.
Jack's talking to us all about his delicious flavors here.
And last year we actually won an award at Wingfest. We did a collaboration with a local company, Back Ridge Sugar Shack in Winterport, and we made with their local maple syrup a Maine maple flavor. And we brought it, we debuted it there, and the judges really loved it, and that was like the best use of Maine ingredients.
Wow.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah, let's talk about main ingredients. So do you have other main ingredients, like your locally sourcing stuff?
Oh yeah, actually a few weeks ago we had to get all of our rhubarb ready to for the ice cream, so we just made a post on Facebook and we're like, if anybody has like rhubarb, we'll give you some ice cream.
Yeah, nice.
That's, I mean, let's stop for a second. That's how it works sometimes, guys. We're small business, and sometimes you just gotta shout out on Facebook, hey, we need some product. Does anybody have it?
You do that with
I need some
fiddleheads.
fiddleheads.
Yeah.
Who's harvesting fiddleheads? Because I'm not going out there picking them. I don't have time to do
That's
that.
what I'm saying. And people are so generous that I had to end up like turning away people.
Wow.
Like, I had like almost 1,000 pounds of rhubarb.
Wow, man.
Just
Shout
out.
I'll
out.
take some of it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Maine people, though, because
For
I tell
sure.
you what, I don't know. I've lived here, born and raised my whole life. I've just known wherever I've gone, that's how it is, man. Maine people will reach out and they'll help you out. They'll give you the shirt off their back. They want to see you succeed, man. At least that's what I've experienced running this business, and it sounds like you kind of got the same love and support.
Yeah.
So
It's
1,000
always-
pounds of rhubarb.
Yeah, so we put that all in the freezer, so that's going to be used throughout the year.
Nice.
And we use we made a rustic needham last year. And
Okay, yeah.
We had
Talk to us about that, because I
had
mess around with those a little bit.
Yeah, they're really good. If you never tried them, I recommend trying out a needham.
Yeah.
Some lady brought them in, basically a huge sheet of them. It was like, we'd love if you just made a rustic needham ice cream.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot for you.
Cool.
And we made it with a coconut base, and it was a big seller. And we were up in Ellis Market in East Millinocket. And we probably delivered 60 pints there, and within a week they were
They're
all
ready for
gone.
more?
Oh
Wow.
yeah, people loved it.
Sweet.
So we might bring that back, but we do some one-offs like that.
Yeah, and I can imagine some of it just, you can't please everybody. That's one of the things Matt and I have talked about.
Yeah.
I get requests all the time for certain products to go in the box of Maine, and some make sense, some don't. And you'll give some a shot, and they'll do okay, but financially or feasibility is just like, probably won't bring that back again. But it's worth giving it a shot, and it sounds like, you've done that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
we've
you
done
got
that
to.
plenty of times.
I mean, you got quite a few flavors. Is there some point where you got to be like, all right, I got to cut it off at 40? No, we'll do 50.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you keep all that story? Every single one's got a different tub, right? I've gone in there before when you guys were open and running. And just to clarify, are you able to have anybody in right now, or is it?
Well, just currently with our the size of our shop inside, we aren't allowing anybody inside, but hopefully in the near future we'll be allowing people in. But we can take your order on the deck if you have a large group of people that you're meeting up with.
Okay.
We can take your order on the deck.
So, and what I was getting at is before, when we could go in there, you obviously, just like most ice cream shops that you would see, there's the big tubs and people reaching down in the freezers and scooping up.
Oh,
I mean, if you got so many flavors, you're probably gonna run out of space at some point, right? Or are some like a combination of a couple different flavors? You mix them together, and
Yeah, we've done that. We've kind of eliminated last year. We had kind of ran into that issue.
do you sit down and reevaluate? Or like, all right, we got to cut out these 10 flavors. They're just not making us any money.
Constantly, because
Okay.
we have so many flavors that come in, and every day people are recommending new flavors. So we'll give them a shot, and if they're going great, we'll try to do a wholesale run with them, and then usually they'll go great in wholesale. We haven't had a flavor really that hasn't gone that great with wholesale. So once it hits that line, it's basically on there forever, and then we'll take one off and kind of retire it for the year, and then we might bring it back next year.
But you're always introducing new stuff. You're keeping things fresh. And when you say wholesale, for some of our viewers listening, what does that mean when you're talking about bringing something on to wholesale?
So that's basically saying that how we give it to our customers that sell it in grocery stores or the gas stations and whatnot. That's how we sell it to them in a wholesale fashion.
And how do they get it? Where would they sell it at, those people? Like, what sizes do they get? And
They
what
get.
sizes can they get?
They get usually pint containers right now. Some of our customers actually scoop it themselves, so they get a 2.5 gallon tub.
So you would sell a tub to them. Would it be labeled Spencer's Ice Cream, and they would say, "Hey, we have Spencer's Ice Cream now," and then they're scooping it out of your tub, giving it to their customers, correct?
Yep. And we give them some marketing materials, so they get some signage and stickers and stuff to do up their little shop.
Cool.
So you usually know that like our ice cream's being sold there.
Yeah. There's some people that don't want people to know and just kind of want to take it on as their own type of ice cream, or
they kind of just like put it in the it's always Spencer's Ice Cream. Like they always market it as that, but they kind of just don't market their ice cream as much as we do.
Sure.
So it kind of depends on what they want to do. So
what kind of places are you able to say what places could have it if someone wants to go and get it by like the tub?
Yeah, we're in Governors in Old Town.
Okay.
We're in Noah's Ark, the food truck in Medway, Maine. We're in Erickson's Hardware in Hamden. They have a lot of ice cream there. They're a number one scooping customer.
Is it a hardware store? Is that what
yeah, but they have an ice cream shop on the side that they sell ice cream and coffee out of.
Oh, okay. I think I know which one it is now.
Oh yeah, and they have the best coffee there too. If you haven't tried it out, it's the best. And I think that's it for right now. But our pint customers definitely take the cake for it. We're in all of the trade winds. We're in Parodies and Brewer, IGA.
I want to know how you got into trade winds. How does that happen?
That was actually our first customer.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Wow.
Brandon Lawrence came in and he was having ice cream, and
is that the guy?
He's the owner's son.
Okay.
And so I was just having a conversation with him, introduced myself, said thank you for coming in, whatnot. And he had bought a few pints, and he just asked me, he was like, "How do you make these?" And I said, we pour them out. That's kind of like the extra stuff that we make with ice cream. And he was like, "I think these would go really well in our store." And we sold them in our store already, but it was just like we had scooped them ourselves. We didn't really make them out of the machine. And so after that, we started making them out of the machine and selling them in the front of the store. And he had bought 30 to put into the Eddington trade winds. And then
which is fairly close to Bradley.
That's like our neighbor store basically.
Okay.
So we did that, marketed it pretty hard, and they sold out within the first 2 days or so. And so he kind of knew that was going to be a big hit, and moved us right into I think the next one was Brewer Trade Winds. And then ever since then, it was just like...
I think that's how a lot of them will do it. They'll start you off in one of their stores. Maybe they think you'll do okay in, and they'll test it out and see how you do. And man, it sounds like you killed it. You knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, we got a really good reception from it.
Trade Winds they're popping these up. We have one that just came in Old Town, I think last year, the year before, just a couple buildings down from us. And I love it because you go in there and they're Maine themed. You'll see made in Maine products on displays everywhere. And I can get behind that.
So do they just call you up and say, "Hey, we need some more ice cream" when they're getting low and stuff? That's great.
We got a really good relationship with them, and so even if it's like sometimes like a Sunday, we'll run it over because they'll run out, and customers.
And so you're delivering with your trailers, is what you were saying, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so are those trailers? They're like refrigerated?
They have freezers in them that we put them. We kind of like rigged them up ourselves. But,
nice. Yeah. Are they like chest freezers? Like, oh, nice.
But they don't. I mean, everything's frozen. You're getting it there fairly quick, right? It's not like driving.
We have a generator in the back of my truck usually, and just plug it right in and runs on generator, so I could go anywhere.
Yeah. So the ice cream, I know where some of my products, I'm a little scared to ship it at certain times of the year, like Needham's chocolates, for instance, for one. I'm always a little bit cautious about sending certain products because I know, sometimes it gets pretty hot here, and then obviously other places it gets even hotter. So are you ever concerned that a freezer is going to go down? Tell us about the daily operations. We haven't really dived into that. So what does Jack's day look like when you jump up out of bed at what?
usually it's pretty early in the morning.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I get going pretty early. Usually start out packing orders, ready to get going, get the trailers ready to go out. So get all of the drivers and stuff on the road. Usually it's my stepdad that will do the delivering with me.
Okay.
and then get my ice cream maker ready so he can start making the ice cream. We've got one kid that's always made it with me, and he's kind of taken that role over.
He's the ice cream king.
Yes, he knows all about it. And since then, just like after that, just deliveries out on the road, delivering, and then once that's done, it's just scooping out front, and that's it for the day.
But you have certain people in place that that you trust, and so the ice cream guy, he knows exactly how to. I mean, is it a difficult process whether you have so many different flavors? What about inventory and ordering and all of that? Who helps with all those aspects?
I kind of keep an eye on that, and so does the ice cream maker. We got one other lady, my stepmom, that makes kind of keeps an eye on like the bigger stuff, like our pint containers and all the stuff that we keep upstairs out of view most of the time.
Okay.
She keeps an eye on that, but besides that, we keep it locked down. We never really run out of anything. Keep a pretty good stock.
It sounds like everybody's kind of playing a part together and keeping an eye on.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to it, so just one person can't really run it all. So
it's a team.
Yeah, a lot of eyes on it.
So you've kind of built a team up here, and it sounds like you guys mesh pretty good. Do you have days where you bump heads?
Yeah, I mean, everybody does, but I mean, that's just business. But.
Yeah, especially when you have family involved, you can know each other a little bit too well.
Yeah, it's usually just when stuff is kind of going wrong, like as it is, and everybody just wants, everybody wants the best. So,
right.
So do you ever have any times of year where you're like, oh, I gotta call in some more family and friends here to come and help out? Like, it's really crazy. Like, you call in your friend here and he comes and scoops ice cream.
Have you scooped?
Oh yeah, I've scooped. I've ran the windows. I've gone some events with them and stuff like that. So it's been cool. I remember one day we did. It was an event up by the Old Town High School, and we ended up being in the parade and stuff. So that was cool. We were like with all the fire trucks, and like you say, an ice cream truck coming down the road, it's nothing but smiles, and especially when you're right by the fire truck. So they're already going on that, and then the ice cream truck just tops it off.
Nice. So you've been around since this started. I mean, since he took over the business, right? So
yeah.
Give us a little bit of perspective of like the changes that you've seen from happening over the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, tremendous growth. I mean, like Jack said, business aspects, stuff like that in high school, maybe, student, I mean, just like any, guy or whoever, interested kind of in whether it's business, sports, where we get those stereotypical aspects. But other than that, I mean, Jack's grown tremendously, and just like you guys said, the business is starting to grow. And, when he first had jumped on board, it was obviously kind of humble and stuff like that. I think from friend-based wise, I remember when he told me, and he was like, you got to keep this on the down low for now. And so we've always had that relationship and kind of bouncing ideas off each other. And like you say, it's just kind of grown, helping out, when I can, or if he needs me, then, it's a phone call away and I'll go out of my way to do whatever. But like you say, there's a lot of moving pieces to the puzzle, and definitely, everybody has those, but at the same time, they're just starting to go together good. And definitely, I think they're trying, they definitely have it figured out, and now it's starting to get into that rhythm. And like you say, now they're starting to grow, and definitely looking forward to seeing what's next. I mean, I have a question as we're sitting here talking about the buckets and stuff. Other places, whether, to kind of refer to maybe a competitor, Giffords or something, how they have their ice cream and selling it, like you meant, kind of out of other ice cream shops. Is that something you're maybe to look to do? As, maybe Billy down the road wants to open up his own stand, you supply him type of, is that something you guys would be
franchise type?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. If you're interested, I recommend reaching out.
So I like the fact that what he mentioned about the process and fine tuning it. I watched this one show called, I think it's called The Prophet, or The Partner, The Prophet. And this guy comes in, his name's Marcus Lemonis. He comes in struggling businesses, and he comes in and he kind of picks them apart, peels back certain layers. But there's one thing that he always says, and he focuses on the people. He focuses on the process, and he focuses on the product. And it sounds like you guys have fine-tuned the process. It sounds like you got great people working for you. And we already know that the product's amazing. And so then once you get all of that kind of down, then you can look at, expanding and diversifying. And it sounds like you're doing that as well with the wholesale and the food trucks. And then maybe it's franchising. Maybe it is, John Smith really likes everything you stand for, shoot, maybe even me, maybe I want to start an ice cream shop down on the coast of Maine or something. You think that you would be able to get something like that up and running and get that person all the tools that they need to be successful?
Definitely. Yeah, that's kind of like something that we've been looking forward to. Been getting everything in line for that. Just kind of been waiting for the right person to come along.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because it's that. I mean, it's more than that. It's the brand. It's the name. You're building this up. Like you said, Spencer's has a long history, and you're really kind of giving it a invigorating it, kind of new branding. Have you worked on the branding part of it at all, or you still... You've kind of changed the brand, not necessarily the name, but like the logo and the colors. You're naming your trailers. I was going to say something about that, but is there something theme behind it?
Kind of just want an ice cream vibe from it. It never really had that. So when we came in, they didn't have a logo. It was basically starting from scratch. So it was kind of nice, but there was a lot of work behind it. We came up with the logo. Everybody agreed upon that, and then the next thing was come up with t-shirts, because everybody needs a t-shirt when you work at an ice cream shop.
Sure.
And then the trucks kind of didn't really have to think too hard on the trailer colors or anything like that. Just the basic colors, we got all of them. And then the truck was coming up with the wraps for the truck was kind of like the hardest thing, how we were going to position everything and make it look so people could see when we were driving down the road and stuff like that. That was the hardest part.
Yeah, and I think I saw them outside of right down the road here, right? The guy that does the signs right over here.
Yep, Tony.
Graphics.
Yeah.
So shout out to Tony.
Yeah, he does
from
awesome.
Graphics. He's done a bunch of stuff for me, and he does great work. I'm actually probably going to get a vehicle wrapped by him hopefully soon.
Yes, highly recommend.
Awesome. Great. So tell us, did we already talk about Petunia? You've got a bunch of different names.
Yeah, Petunia is the name of the truck, right?
Yeah, Petunia's the truck.
Okay, so Petunia's the truck. Yeah. Bertha's the ice cream maker.
Yeah.
Ice cream machine. And then you have some other names for some of the other trailers.
Belle,
Ivy, and Sunny.
Sunny, got it. Yeah.
So I love the name. I love the color scheme and everything. So how about what can you tell us? Maybe something you didn't know when you first started that you wish you had known, since this is still fairly fresh. I mean, you've come a long way in such a short period of time, but I don't want people to, get confused here. It's only been a couple of years.
Yeah.
You're moving pretty fast. Are you concerned about this business growing a little bit faster than you can keep up with it? I know it's something I think about. Mine.
Yeah, for sure. We've always thought about like how to keep it on, right on our timeline so everything matches up right, but that's kind of something I hope for, is that we grow really fast and then we keep going. But something I've learned is that there's a long time to this game, so just patience is the key to everything. It's just waiting and waiting and waiting for everything to line up right until it's right for you is kind of the big thing.
That's wisdom right there, man. I mean, how old are you? 20?
20.
That's pretty good. Because it's true, and it's so hard to wait. Matt is waiting right now. He's waiting on getting a bigger shop. I waited to try to get a bigger building, and I'm waiting to get, a commercial vehicle, and wait. You got to do it at the right time. Right. And I think a lot of times people move a little bit too fast. Am I right?
Definitely. Yeah.
They start franchising too soon, or they start opening up too many flavors or shops or too much all at once, and then it kind of
you really have to know what you want to do and make your plan fit that, because if you can't overextend yourself, because that's usually when you get burnt out or tired and stuff just doesn't go right. And nothing usually ever goes as planned, but if you have a decent idea of what you want to do, you can definitely always move in that direction.
So speaking of things that haven't gone right, do you have any stories? Any stories of like things that haven't really gone very well? Like challenges like that. Either of you, like anything that you can speak about that.
Yeah, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, he knows some? Does he know something?
Not necessarily about Spencer, but like you say, the growth over time, and like Jack had said, patience is kind of the key, and waiting for everything to fall into place. So, kind of reflecting on that, it comes in perspective, like you say, do you grow this fast? Do you want to slow it down or back it up?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously stuff breaks, stuff like, that stuff can be fixed, but ultimately, focusing on the business's plan. I mean, like I say, stuff's obviously going to break, stuff fades out,
Yep.
but making sure, I think, we were talking earlier when we first got here. I mean, like you said, whether it's relatives, family, whoever, I mean, even the community itself, Spencer's has that long line history. And, Jack comes in with, good opportunity to kind of recreate, rebrand, but still, has the back to it, the story. And I think they do a good job at keeping that alive as well. Instead of just kind of fading that out. I mean, like I say, there's a lot of history to it. And so they do a good job. But honestly, things kind of going wrong, other than maybe the machines kind of, break in, or I know one time they actually had, I think, a freezer go down, one of them at the time, but other than that, I mean, things are better. So, yeah, that was a disappointment of it, but
I could just see it melting, and I got to think you have like nightmares of like all the ice cream melting in the middle of the night and nobody's there to catch it. Or
I didn't have anxiety before. I definitely have it now.
Yeah.
It's no easy task running a small business, huh? Do you?
No, like sometimes I've woken up and I go downstairs because right now I live above the shop.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we made my own apartment so I can just stay right there. But I go downstairs and, once or twice the freezer out front has been shut off or whatever. We lost power somehow to it, and all the ice cream's already soupy, and it's bad. You gotta throw it out, or even recently, I had to plan a trip to go down south to go talk to some customers, and went to go leave, and then I was in bring some ice cream with me, and all the ice cream was like soft in our big freezer where we keep everything, and I was like, something's really not right, and our compressor had ended up failing. So
This is recently.
Yeah, and it was on a Sunday.
Yeah,
so
that's where everybody's going to get ice cream, right?
Yeah.
So called my freezer guy, and he showed up luckily within the hour. They're the best. Central Maine Refrigeration. If you ever have any problems,
Okay.
they always show right up for you. Fixed it within 20 minutes and got me running again. So
Nice.
Man.
always close calls.
I feel a little stressed just talking about that.
I haven't had any, knock on wood, terrible things happen yet.
Yeah.
But definitely stressful.
You have like backup generators and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You gotta have that, right?
When I first bought it, there was no generator, so there was always I was so nervous for probably the first year. We didn't have a generator, and we lost power a few times, and it was just like, don't touch that freezer. It's shut, and we never lost power for that long, luckily. So
We're in Maine though, so you never know. It seems like we've been losing power a lot more lately. I don't know about you guys. I actually got myself a generator now. You have one, right?
I do, yeah.
You gotta have a generator if you
Definitely
live in Maine and
recommend,
you own a business.
yes.
So let's jump right into competitors. Tyler mentioned one name. I don't know if we can say it again, but you do have some competitors, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my question to you is, how do you stand out? Obviously, you have the history. You have that name. That's definitely a little bit of a platform there already. But it sounded like you were from scratch, though, kind of, too, with this whole ice cream focus. How do you set yourself apart?
Well, we're very friendly with our customers. We like to build a relationship with them. It's usually either me or my stepmom or mom going in to talk. So
that was one of the first things I said, right?
Yeah.
When I just explained to you my recent experience with Spencer's Ice Cream this year, like a couple weeks ago, Mom was out there all friendly. How's it going? She says hi to my kids. I don't think you get that as much as some of these other places. Just saying.
And we've never gone through a distributor, so we've always done it ourselves. That's kind of been our niche. And we always are right there for you if you ever need anything. So we've really
explain the distributor thing for people.
So sometimes people, it does make sense for majority of the companies to team up with a bigger distributor that has a lot of contacts with stores that they can kind of branch out with, and they deliver the ice cream for them and do all the basically the legwork. They'll do the ordering and distributing. They bring it right to your door if you need it. And we haven't gone that route yet. We do it ourselves. So if you need a delivery at the IGA or the local grocery store anywhere, gas station, it's usually me. We're pulling up in our trailer and we hand deliver it and we stock it ourselves. So we build a relationship with all of our customers that I think it's unique to us.
I think that's pretty important because you are going to care much more about how your product is perceived, how your employees are perceived, versus a distributor who, they could almost care less, almost,
Well, I feel like they kind of represent, but
but
company a little
definitely
bit,
nowhere near the extent as they're going to be. I mean, they're going to be making sure that their product looks really good when they're restocking it, and that they're super polite and super friendly to all the customers that you're delivering to, versus a distributor where it might be a delivery driver,
and your product's just one of many that he's got to get delivered and make his cut, his portion, his or her.
I've always thought about that, and so we've done a lot of research about when we do take that step, and because that's definitely.
What if Hannaford comes knocking and they're like, we want, same thing with Tradewinds, they start you off in one store, now they want you in all of their stores. I don't know how many Hannafords there are, but there's more Hannafords than there are the IGAs and stuff. I mean, that's something that I think about sometimes. Someone comes knocking and they want a box of Maine and all of these businesses or something. Do you talk it over with the team and see, is this the approach? Does this fit in our plan, like you said?
Yeah, we have a few plans in place that we can go with, but I guess when the time comes, it's going to be a matter of just choosing one of them and following through with it. So
I mean, it'd be pretty cool to see Spencer's in every single grocery store.
I would love it.
In the state of Maine, or even further, New England or something.
Yeah, no, we definitely strive for that. That's kind of the goal someday.
That's the big goal.
Yeah, is to just keep expanding.
So for some of those big decisions that you're talking about, do you have people that you kind of run ideas past and talk over? I mean, I do that with my wife. I do it with Dan, and he does it back and forth with me. And do you have people like that that you go to and see what they think?
Probably number one person's my girlfriend. That's who late at night, and we're usually discussing things, whatever. I run stuff by her, and then after that, my mom, my dad, my stepdad, stepmom, and then final decision. I like to get my input from my friends, because after all, that's kind of who's usually the first supporters.
They'll be real with you too. Maybe you're thinking a little bit too crazy or something, or you need to just kind of be brought back down to reality for a second. We can have these big plans and goals, right?
Yeah, they might have some experience that like you didn't know about, that they might be like, that's really not a good idea. You don't want to do that. Yeah. And so I've learned a lot from my friends and family, and just listening and kind of seeing what people have done, and just asking questions about it.
And now, are you getting any other education while you're running this? Are you going to get some business, mentoring or coaching, or going to school?
Yeah, I go to EMCC right now for business management.
Okay.
I'm almost done with that. I only got 2 classes.
So you're doing that and running this business too?
Yeah,
my word.
It's been quite I've been busy for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Almost done with that, and then I've got a few mentors that I talk to on a regular basis, but nothing too serious right now. Looking into it though.
But I think that's important that you want to continue to have someone that you can learn from. You're continuing to educate yourself, grow, learn, and so awesome. It sounds like you're taking all the right steps.
Definitely.
So we talked about some of the obstacles you faced, and how much ice cream you're making. You're filling up the freezer with, how would you say, a couple hundred pints or something like that?
A couple hundred buckets.
A couple hundred buckets.
Probably a couple thousand pints.
Okay, and so you got, oh my god, and you're going through that fairly quick, and you go through a whole freezer, and then you have to is the ice cream guy just making ice cream all day long, all day, pretty much?
Monday through Friday. Oh, wow. He's there from 10 to 8, probably, just making ice cream.
Wow. So are you planning on getting another Bertha?
Yeah, I think unfortunately that we're going to kind of grow Bertha, and we're going to have to go with a more commercial setup, but it's going to be a smaller setup, because we do like to control about like what we make and keep an eye on it. But would
it be on location or off site? Because there are places like cold storage. There are places that have freezer where you could store product outside of your location.
Yeah, we're talking with Getchell's. We got a pretty good relationship with them. We've had to store our ice cream there when our freezers have failed and stuff.
Sure, but you have plans set up. I like that. That's good.
It's just we want to kind of build our own facility and go that route and kind of expand.
Okay, so maybe we're talking a little bit about the plans of the future here. What you got going on?
Yeah.
So that's one of them.
Yeah, kind of. We've always looked at that, so it's just a matter of how we're going to, how and where we're gonna put this facility at some point where we need to make more ice cream. That's always a
more
concern
ice
of
cream.
ours. So yeah, I guess just we don't know where we're gonna put it is the thing.
Yeah.
Bradley's pretty small. We obviously are always gonna have our storefront in Bradley. That's our flagship location, but it's so far out of the way of everything.
I mean, if we're being honest, I don't make my way out there that often. I'm in Old Town, so it's not bad if you're in Old Town. But I guess if I was living in Bangor, it would be a little bit harder. Not harder, but it would be a little more out of the way for me to travel 20, 30 minutes to go get ice cream.
Definitely.
When I could go down the road and get it a little bit shorter of a distance. So I could definitely see where a more centrally located shop could do better.
And
maybe a coastal
and for
thing too.
for anyone that doesn't know, Bradley, there's only two ways into it. There's either through Eddington or through Old Town. So if we could there's no highway access anywhere through
Right.
it. So we'd love to get somewhere where there's some highway access and because our deliveries, that's just right up the highways usually. So
you always have to go straight from Bradley to the highway.
yeah.
So how cool would it be to be right off of the highway?
Exactly. That's our whole plan.
So with all the COVID stuff happening, we've had a lot of our fairs and stuff canceled.
Yeah.
You've probably experienced some of that
Yeah.
too. Do you have any that you're planning on doing if they are still around?
I know
any of
Riverfest
those events?
canceled.
Yeah, I
that's
don't want to confirm any right now just
Sure.
because of how everything's going.
Sure.
But we unfortunately, we know we're not going to Riverfest this year, and we're not going to the Money Mainer.
Oh, that's tough because you said that was a good one for you.
Yeah, and Casella, we're still working with them. That's kind of like the last chance to see what we can do.
Yeah.
But everything's just so difficult this year with how everything's going. But next year, we're definitely going to be at all the events again, and probably a few more. And yeah, we were at it was like Pints and Pups or something like that in the Bangor dog park or something like that last year, and that was a whole lot of fun. And that unfortunately got canceled this year too. So just all the good events are getting canceled.
And so you're not. So let me just get this correct. And I am probably off with this question, but you're not looking at trying to pull up next to a food truck downtown Bangor and pop up shop and sell ice cream out of it, right? You know, or is that something of interest or no?
We've thought about that. There's one food or ice cream truck that does go down to the waterfront already, and so we kind of respect the
All right.
their sales down there, and they claim that spot first. So we go into Brewer sometimes. We'll go into like the auditorium, or we'll go to like the football games, Old Town football games. We'll do like some events like that, but not really trying to pull up with unless we're invited.
Yeah, no,
We always try to respect
that's
everybody
respectful.
else's sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's another thing that can set you apart right there. You treat others with respect, and it sounds like you've built some good rapport with the community. I see you guys, I see your name out there in the community when you're working with all these other businesses.
Yeah.
The networking. So all these things are great ways to set yourself apart. Like we one of the questions we asked not that long ago. So.
Yeah. Actually, last year we did. We had a cool community event. Just to touch on it real quick, we did we had a lot of books that were donated to us by this one lady, and we didn't really know what to do with them. So we ended up I had one gig at the Brewer Community School to read to like one class, and that went really well. So I ended up just donating books there, and then we got like an outrageous amount of people just being like, can you come read to our class? So I read to like 25 classes or so.
Wait, hold on a second here.
Yeah.
now you're
we ended up going back to I just read a story or whatever. It was a pretty quick event, but it's always fun for kids to just listen and something different than the teacher for a few minutes. So we come in, read a book, and we give them all a free coupon to come get ice cream. And we came back to a few schools to do like fundraisers and stuff like that, so kids could get ice cream and support their school at the same time. And really managed to get all the schools to just kind of like get all the students to raise money and stuff for them too. It was really nice.
Yeah, and now it's okay. Now I'm thinking of something that just came up. Some lady just reached out to me I wish I could remember her name, but she said that she was teaming up with you, some fundraisers. Talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
So you do fundraising and stuff like for other businesses and people around the community. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Well, you have a
just
few,
recently. Was it just...
You have a few going on, so I'm not sure quite.
I wish my memory wasn't so terrible, but it's this month. She said it was for the month of July.
Okay.
She's looking to raise some money, and we're looking at working together and, possibly donating some boxes to some military serving overseas.
That's so cool. Yeah. So, kind of what we do is we do fundraisers is what we call them, and that's what it is. So we will basically give you a sales form, and you sell our ice cream to the community around you, and we'll donate 20% of all the sales back to the school or whatever cause they're raising money for.
That's
so
awesome.
Everybody gets ice cream and they get some money raised.
I like it, man. I love what you're doing. Really just pouring into the communities, man. Reading books and stuff to kids. I need to step up my game.
I highly
a little
recommend
bit.
it. That was so much fun.
I gotta start reading some books. What kind of books you reading? About ice cream? Or?
No, they were just kids' books usually. Unfortunately, no ice cream books. But no, it was fun.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
So, where can people find you?
We'll always be at 77 Main Street in Bradley, Maine. And you can find our website online. We're going to start doing a lot more with that just because of the new restrictions.
And is that's spencersicecream.com?
Yep. And we're on Facebook and Instagram, Spencer's Ice Cream. And we're in
a bunch of
locations. Honestly,
that's all listed on your website.
Yeah, we have a map. You can click on the closest location to you, and it'll bring you right there. So
nice.
It's pretty helpful.
And so it's ice cream only. That's all your focus is on. You can get some merch though, right?
Oh, of course, always.
You gotta be able to get the merch.
And we've got we actually just got some new ones in, some new colors. We got some yellow and pink, navy, black. Yeah. So they'll all be listed on our website for sale.
Nice.
So before you go, I have one more question. Do you have anything?
No.
I have one. What's the most common misconception when you come across somebody, or when someone comes across you and they ask about your business, Spencer's? Are you Spencer? Do they think you're Spencer?
Yeah, always.
Is that one of them?
Yeah, I'll bring in the ice cream.
You kind of do look like you could be a Spencer. I'm just saying.
I'll bring in the ice cream and go, "Are you Spencer?" I'm Jack, but yeah, I'm the owner.
Yeah. Are you Jack Spencer?
They just don't know that I'm the owner, and they'll
you're a little young to be the owner,
and then I'll have to kind of well, I'm the owner, and then they're like, oh, okay, sorry about that. But it's just,
that's so humbling.
You just don't really know what to say.
The
back
delivery
to
boy's here.
That's usually what it is, and they and I'm not even trying to throw some shade on people, but they sometimes won't be the nicest to me, and then they'll the owner of that store will come out and they'll be like, oh, how you doing, because they know who I am. And say the receiving guy doesn't know, and they're just having a bad day or whatever. And that's happened a few times, but honestly it's just nobody ever knows who I am when I'm going up to talk to them. It's usually about something.
I love that you're on the ground, you're delivering the product, you're so engaged, and I do think that's gonna be what sets you guys apart. So
I mean, I think it's pretty incredible that in 2 years you've really grown this business to what it is. I mean, I just can't even imagine. I mean, I've been doing what I've been doing for 5 years now, and it's not even close.
I imagine it's probably flown by for you too.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
So these last 2 years have probably seemed like a couple months for me. It's been crazy. So. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, definitely the best of luck to you, man. We want to see you succeed. The community does, and I'll keep bringing my family over. We'll be getting ice cream.
Yep.
Just to hear the backstory and everything. It just makes it so much worth it. Much more worth it to go out, take that time. Don't just grab just a random brand in Hannaford. Go out and let's get the real Maine businesses and let's support them. Right? Am I right?
Absolutely. Always support local. It's the best thing you could do.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we want to do here at Made in Maine podcast. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Great. We'll catch you on the next one. So thank you so much for listening to the Made and Made podcast. Now, how about some free ice cream? Jack has been so generous to give us a couple ice cream coupons, and we want you guys to partake in this. So would you share this episode on Facebook when we post it? Comment what your favorite flavor was, and we'll pick a couple people to win some free ice cream from Spencer's in Bradley, Maine.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Made in Maine podcast, then please consider supporting us through Patreon. Patreon is a great way for our listeners to support the podcast by donating a couple bucks to us for each episode that we put out. The podcast has not been free to produce, from the equipment that we need to record these episodes to the fees that we pay to host the podcast. It does cost us some money, and any amount of support that you can give would be greatly appreciated. Right now, there are 3 tiers that you can choose from, and some of the donor tiers come along with some benefits. So head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/MadeInMainePodcast to learn more. You can also help us put Maine on the map by sharing episodes on social media sites like Facebook or Instagram, anywhere that you think someone would be interested in our content. Another way you can support us by leaving us a review on the podcast app that you are listening on. And we may even choose your review to share it on the next episode. You can find us on Made in Maine Podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/MadeInMainePodcast. You can also find each episode on the podcast platforms like Podbean, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, and now on YouTube as Made in Maine Podcast. Thank you for listening and helping us put Maine on the map.